Let me start by saying this. You looked out there on the field and you saw the 901 on the side of our helmets. And I think this game is in honor of our great city, right? Anytime we get to represent our city and get to wear our uniform, the 901 with the leaping tiger on the side, it's an awesome deal. So all the fans that got to see it, it's a credit to them. This game was for our great city in the 901. Quite pleased with that. And then also, congratulations to Ed Scott, our athletic director, on his first win as our athletic director. Pleased for him. He got the game ball, along with a lot of guys that did some nice things. But all that being said, look, we're 1-0. A lot of great things, a lot of great things, and a lot to be cleaned up. Okay, let's start with our defense. Obviously, 3 takeaways. Anytime you get to go into a game and have 3 takeaways and don't turn the football over, it's a wonderful thing. I thought our defense flew to the ball and did a lot of nice things. You sit there and look at the things that we saw from the North Alabama's offense, right? 7 times they had 2 quarterbacks on the field, multiple muddle huddles, multiple reverses, just a lot of things to prepare for. I thought they played with great communication, great eyes. So quite pleased with the defense. If they can go get 3 takeaways every game and play like that, we got ourselves a chance. But one game at a time approach. On offense, I thought Seth played a really clean game, did some nice things. I think he hit 9 different receivers, which is something that we need. We got to continue to provide depth. The run game was up and down. Obviously, there's some things that we've got to continue to clean up. I'll get that fixed. But all in all, I thought our guys played hard, but not to the level we're capable of. Okay, and we're going to go back to work starting tomorrow morning and find ways to improve, because we're going to have to be better than we were tonight in order to beat a great Troy team, back-to-back conference champions, coming into our home. The fans were awesome. Our students, credit to them on this beautiful night. They were there early. As soon as those gates opened, our students showed up. Couldn't be more pleased with their support. Our fans were wonderful. It was kind of neat, seeing I kind of looked up pregame and then at the end of the game and said, wait a second, all that construction's still going on, which is a great thing. It just shows that the future is very, very bright. Pleased, but a lot of work to be done, and excited to go ahead and move on to the next page and see if we can go 1-0 next week.
Ryan, how would you grade your offensive line performance?
Yeah, as you know, Frank, I'll be looking at it here in about 36 minutes, watching it and critiquing it. But they did some good things, right? On some of those shots, they had a chance downfield. North Alabama showed a multitude of defensive schemes that we had not prepped for, and that's my job, is to get our guys prepared for. You look at a last year, a 12-game sample, and then their past game, because they had played a game before, and they showed things that they had never shown before, that this defensive coordinator had never shown. I've got to make sure we're preparing ourselves better, but I thought they did a pretty decent job. Obviously, I want to keep number 9 up. We need to keep number 9 up. They did some decent stuff in the run game, but we got to be better. And when they decided to blitz the house, that's when some of those shots were open. We got to be able to connect more on them. The offensive line did some decent things. They got to continue to improve.
Ryan, what can you tell us about Sutton? Obviously, didn't look good, clutches on the sideline, and how much do you hate to see a guy who worked so hard?
Yeah.
Obviously, what his status is now. But
yeah, you talk about a young man that I thought had a chance to be an all-conference kick returner, starting running back, plus versatile enough. I kind of compared him to the Kenny Gainwell mold. So much so that we nominated him for the most versatile player in all of college football. But he did get hurt. It doesn't look great. Our entire program will keep him in our thoughts and prayers and hope that he's okay, more than anything pain-free. Wish him a speedy recovery. But Sutton's worked his tail off, right, to put himself in a position to have the success that we're looking for. But that's why we train guys, and that's why we got to have a lot of depth. And that was going into this season. You can never have enough depth at running back. I think the guys behind him are capable. We're all going to have to step up. But we'll keep Sutton in our thoughts, and hopefully he's okay.
Hey, Coach, how important and special was it to get the shutout tonight?
Yeah, look, shutouts are awesome, right? They're a great thing. Credit to Coach Hankins and his defensive staff. They did a phenomenal job. And again, I think it goes back to the players, right? To be able to prepare for that type of offensive scheme, it goes to communication and trust, right? And I think that was one of those things that we built since January, showing them, hey, this is a scheme that's different. Not a lot of teams in college football are running. You got to trust us. You got to do that. And I think they played as one unit, which was fun, right? As a coach, you always want guys going out there and get to see a lot of different guys make plays, right? Matt Hudson, right, with the interception. D.K. Ross with the interception. William Whitlow, right, going and punching that ball up. And Dennis getting the fumble recovery. I think Chandler Martin should have counted as a pick 6, but, I'm not going to say here. I love our officials. They're wonderful. And, but to be able to get 3 takeaways like that, the defense stood up, and to get that shutout, and those takeaways actually turned into points. And that's going to be huge for us to be at, right? 21 points exactly, Terry. So quite pleased with that. Those shutouts are great. But the only thing that matters is that we scored one more point than them, and it just so happened to be 40 more, and so we'll take those.
What are the things that you can clean up run game wise? And if Sutton is long term, just him out of the backfield, pass catching ability, what else do you have?
Yeah, right. In the run game, I say it always starts with the guys up front. The offensive line's got to continue to improve, right? Then it goes with perimeter blocking to tackling to make sure we're putting our guys to the tight ends to make sure we're putting our guys in the right position to have success. And then the back's got to run hard, right? The number one thing I care about a running back is owning the football. Handing that ball to the official, whether it's a 1 yard gain or a 100-yard gain, and through the end zone, handing that ball to the ref. And so ball security is the number one thing we're going to look for in our running backs. If Sutton can't go, Mari Anderson's a guy we have great faith in. I think we got to see some flashes of him. He's got to be consistent, but he did a nice job tonight. Greg, can you help me with the pronunciation? Dewozier, so we all know that. All right, so Dewozier. I'll work on my French later on tonight. Got some carries, and then, like I said, Brandon Thomas, we got a lot of faith in. We just got to make sure he's good to go. And then you guys got to see that the 17-year-old number 21 go out there, Makari, and tote the rock at the very end of the game. So a lot to clean up. Troy's been known to have a stout defense, so I'm excited to kind of see what they're going to have to offer and how we can put together a great game plan to be better in our run game.
Ryan, back on the defense, you talked all off season about that was a unit that you wanted to improve. Is this something in tonight's performance that kind of confidence-wise build, especially with Jordan as the new coordinator?
I hope so. I mean, right, Jordan's had pretty good back-to-back games. The Liberty Bowl game, right, versus Iowa State in the win, and hold them to 0 rushing yards and then get a shutout. So if he can just keep this done consistently for the rest of the season, he'll be my best friend. But no, he's done a good job. But I do think this builds confidence, but nothing else, right? Like we have not solved any of the problems. We've got such a long ways to go, and every single one of us, right, from missed tackles to we had some blown deals, right, some blown coverages that could have cost us. So thank goodness those mistakes happening and winning is great because we're able to coach those really hard. Like tomorrow, I'm going in there, I'm going to coach the heck out of our guys. I mean, we are going to coach the heck out of the details. There's a lot to be cleaned up. And that's the great thing when a win and you shut a team out. Give me more. Coach me, coach. What else can we do? And our guys have that great attitude. And it's a credit to the young men in the locker room that are bought into this culture. They're excited. The defense, are they happy with the shot? Sure, but they're all sitting there with big eyes and say, okay, what else can I do? And that's what's so exciting about this team because they want more, they want to improve, and they're willing to do whatever it takes.
Coach, that's your first game in the Liberty Bowl. How nice did that breeze feel?
Yeah, I'm still a little overweight, so I'm still sweated. It was sweating. I don't think sweated is a proper term. But, that breeze felt good. Not as many fans, saying rude things about me behind me, right? There's a lot less behind me that couldn't say some negative things about me. But no, it's cool. And again, I just think that shows progress. And I think our credit to our administration and all those people that have done a nice job with the stadium. I mean, it looked clean. It looked beautiful. I'm sure it showed well on TV, and the fans are great. And so it was a neat deal, and like I said, it just puts a smile on my face because it shows progress. You guys know how much I love this city and I love this university, and it's a step in the right direction. And hopefully we win a lot of games in Liberty Hall, and then further on figure it out and make sure that it's all pieced together one day at a time, and eventually be one of the best games in all college football.
Coach, you talked about he had the forced fumble, he helped force that interception with Davion Ross. How big was he?
Yeah, Whitlow was an active player, right? We've talked about William Whitlow Jr. for a long time. We wanted to see him step up, and we challenged him. And he's a young man that had a phenomenal game. And I think we got to see some of his explosiveness, some of his twitch, some of the things he was able to do, not only in the run game, but in the pass game. And anytime you get a D lineman that's running to the ball, that was an effort play. I love effort plays. I mean, that speaks volumes about the young man, right? If they're willing to run to the ball and punch it out and force a fumble, that's an effort play, and I love it. And guess what? Effort is non-negotiable in this program. So anytime we see guys that aren't running the ball, they won't play on the field. I don't care how talented they are. Whitlow did a nice job. He harassed the quarterback. I believe he got a sack, a couple TFLs to go along. But we're going to need him to continue to be a complete player and step up every day.
Coach, you talked about DeRosier earlier. What did you see from him tonight? Obviously, had an impact. Going forward, what do you expect from him?
Yeah, look, he's most people don't know he's actually a decathlete at UMass. So I don't even know what events that is, but clearly no one ever asked me to be a decathlete. But he can tote that rock, and he's got great speed. He did a nice job owning the football. And just, look, he's a guy that got here in the summer and learning the scheme. And our scheme is not real simple. So credit to him for being able to pick it up. He handled the blitz pressures pretty well and protection. We'll see. But that was a nice thing is we knew that we had a loaded backfield. And so if they had to step up, we felt comfortable with him in there tonight.
Hey, Coach, how would you rate, just on first look, your special team units, all of them?
Yeah, I'll be very frank with you. I thought our kicking game was awful. The kickoff unit, phenomenal. Great job by Tristan Vandenberg and those guys covering down. And I don't ever like to throw people under the bus, but we've got to find better answers in the kicking game. I thought going into this it would be a strong point. Clearly, it wasn't. Some mishit kicks. I got to go back. Was it the snap? Was it the hold? Was it the I don't know what the heck it was. No excuses, no explanations. But we have to find ways to be able to make basic field goals and extra points that don't look like they're sidewinders. So, we punted the ball fine. The rest of the special teams played well. I thought they covered well. They did some good things. I mean, the last punt where the young man dropped the ball and then ran it for 20-plus yards, I mean, that keeps you up at night, right? And thank goodness the defense was able to stay out there and get a stop. But things like that we got to clean up. We're all involved in special teams, but it starts with me. I've got to do a better job of making sure we're more prepared.
Coach, giving you into the locker room after a first week shutout. Basically, what you said to your guys, how they proceed.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we'll celebrate every win. Okay, I don't know if it's possible. If we win a game 2-0, we'll take it. Because winning it in college football is very hard. I think anybody that just looks at the scores of what's going on, let's give an example. North Carolina State was the 24th ranked team in the country, and Western Carolina was up on them midway through the fourth quarter the other night, right? An FCS opponent. So we don't take anybody for granted. Our guys, the way they prepared, we might as well have been playing Notre Dame. And so our guys just a faceless opponent with the blinders on. I told them I was proud of them. But I said by show of hands who's got something to improve upon in the entire locker room. And it started with me. I put 2 hands up, got a lot to improve upon. And that's what you want, a bunch of guys that are hungry. I want them to enjoy this. I want them to make great decisions tonight and be ready tomorrow to get coached really hard and find ways to improve. Because we got challenges, right? This is just one step where we want to go. And we're not going to look past tomorrow and then the next day. And that's not coach speak, guys. That's what I'm preaching. I'm not talking about anything other than the most important game of the season is next week. All right, let's learn from this, and that it's just such a fun group to be around too, because they love each other, they love this city, and they love to work, and they bought in, and they've got this all in mantra, and it's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see us improve.
Thanks, Coach.
One more. Oh, it was about the defense because it's usually in space. In week 1, the tackles are tough, guys missing tackles, but y'all were really locked in, flying to the ball, head on swivel. Is that an emphasis kind of coming into?
Yeah, we work on tackling all the time, and I was very, to be honest, that was Devin going into week 1 and a team that had already played a game. The tackling is one of those things that it causes great concern, and I thought you guys did a nice job. We talk about being able to not only take your shot and go shoot your shot and try to tackle, but then clasp and wrap up. We saw some broken tackles, and we'll get those fixed. But we practice tackling all the time, and it's important, and the punching up, those things are key. And we're going to have to continue to do well because we're going to face some explosive players. But I'm looking forward to watching the growth of this team one day at a time and seeing what we're capable of. But again, thanks to all the wonderful fans that showed up. They were phenomenal. We're going to need them here even earlier next week, right? Let's get all those people in the stadium by 10 a.m. Freaking let's rock and roll and find a way to go 1-0 next week. Thank you, guys.